Hello and welcome to another Maximum Power video. I'm Paul. What I'm going to do today is another magazine review comparison video. If anyone who's watched the first video that I did last week, thank you very much, and for anyone who's commented on it as well. Obviously I love being able to chat with people who've left the comments and just obviously get their views and opinions on the magazines, which they probably bought as well back then, and also just a few of their views on the actual games themselves. I think I talked about 5 or 6 games last time. I'm going to talk about another 5 or 6 games now. Anyone who's not seen the first video, I'm comparing reviews from Super Play magazine, my favourite Super Nintendo magazine done by Future Publishing, and also Nintendo Magazine System done by EMAP, which is obviously more of an official Nintendo magazine in the UK. Back then, sadly, never magazine going anymore, like many others. So what I'm going to do today is have a look at a few more reviews. Again, feel free by the end to post your comments and things like that. So without further ado, going from what I featured in the first video, I looked at Rival Turf and Final Fight, two early scrolling beat 'em ups for the Super Nintendo. Rival Turf had the sort of 2-player mode as the main selling point, which Final Fight didn't. But Final Fight obviously is a better scrolling beat 'em up out of the two, for playability and everything. So I thought we'd pick up and we'd look at the sequel, Final Fight 2. So here we've got Super Play issue 10. So it was quite a big deal, Final Fight 2. Now, it's not an amazing game. It's one that I bought when I was a kid and spent a lot of time on, excuse me, and really did enjoy it. Mainly because he brought the 2-player option into it, something which is going to be what you definitely need. So this one exclusive to Super Nintendo, at least at the time. I know it's come out on Virtual Console and things like that, since. But yeah, it was quite a big deal because there'd be magazines previewing it, a bit of news, a couple of screenshots and everything like that. Fantastic. And you're thinking, it's a new Final Fight game, it's going to have new levels and a few new characters. So it has got new characters. And as we can see here, we've still got Hagar, who's returned. And we've also got 2 new characters, Carlos and Maki. Now, dead simple, storyline like all scrolling beat 'em ups, just go around, beat people up, take down a gang. Figures with the second Final Fight 2, well, Final Fight, start again. Second Final Fight game, you're going around different countries, beating lots of bad guys. You got a couple of nice little Easter eggs with Chun-Li and Guile in the background, other Capcom favourites there. And looking at the rest of the review, big 4-page review for a scrolling beat 'em up. That's quite a lot, really, because it's a very simple genre. So what we've given it there is 75%. Now that's not really that bad a score. Like most scrolling beat 'em ups, you can get through them fairly quickly. So the lifespan there is rated really poor, 62%, but it's the graphics obviously that do sell it, and anyone who's played Final Fight 2, they'll see how colourful and big and bold the graphics actually are. So not a bad score. It's like one of those where you just like rent it out, Now, one of the next things I want to have a quick look at is the Nintendo Magazine System review. Just also need to look at another game in that issue in a moment. More of that in a few minutes. So, Final Fight 2, again, covering the cover of Nintendo Magazine System. So here, massive beat 'em up special. You got Mortal Kombat, Final Fight 2, and Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So, to the Final Fight 2 review. Again, massive review, nice and colourful, loads of pictures. This is one thing that I do like about Nintendo Magazine System. Pick that up in a sec. Showing you obviously what all the buttons do, loads of box outs, telling you how easy they find it, how responsive the game is as well, and that's something I'm going to be coming to in a moment. when I talk about my next game. So this even bigger review, 4 pages, and we're still going. So again, a few different opinions. Again, telling you all about the new characters. A 6-page review. 6-page review for Final Fight 2, and they're giving it 58%. Now, obviously they're really not fans. There's quite a big difference there. 75%, compared to 58%. Lastability 42%. So, really, really not impressed by this one bit. And I think that just is reflected in this bit. The whole long-term interest. So, it's going to last you, barely an hour's worth of interest. If you think you're not even going to be playing it the next day. Myself, I did play it, a fair bit when I was a kid, because it's the type of genre that I really, really like. So, obviously, I wanted to play it as much as I could, and obviously, when mates come around, you can go on it then as well. The other one that I do want to have a quick look at is Brawl Brothers. Now, Brawl Brothers is the sequel to Rival Turf. So, I'm just basically having a quick look. I did have this actually marked earlier. So, with Brawl Brothers, the sequel to Rival Turf. So, we did 3 games altogether. We did Rival Turf, Brawl Brothers, and they also did it's called the Peacekeepers, the 3rd game in the series. Now, with Brawl Brothers, it looks slightly nicer than Rival Turf, but it's still really, really not a great game. So, as I was saying, basically with Brawl Brothers, you've got more fighters to choose from. You've actually got 5 fighters. Obviously, 2-player, just like Rival Turf was. Just showing, obviously, the people there that you can choose from. Now, this game, obviously, you can get on Japanese import, but I think there is a PAL version. I don't know if it's just for particular countries, because I know it is one that does sell for quite a lot of money. I've seen the instructions, alone try to go for about £100, which just sounds absolutely ridiculous. Granted, that's obviously on eBay, so it doesn't matter really what you list it for, doesn't necessarily mean it'll sell. But what I want to just do is get to the scores. Now, they reviewed this quite highly, giving it 84%. Bearing in mind, just keep in mind what we've just given Final Fight 2. So we've given it 84%. And looking at the long-term interest graph, quite high, for an hour a day. Obviously, still one of those titles really that's a bit more of a rental. Now, I just want to have a quick look at the Super Play review. Now, this one here is reviewing the Japanese version. Russian Beat 1, as said. So they've rated that 60%, which obviously is a massive difference, reviewing the 2 different games. Now, I don't know if obviously they've looked at it, bearing in mind the Japanese version will run a bit, faster as well, but obviously a lot harsher on this game. Now, I've had a quick go on this recently on the old coin ops on the original Xbox, and really, really not impressed by it. I played it, when I was a kid back in the day, and it's just quite unresponsive. Because, again, I know I'm not great at games, but with things like Skull and Beat 'em Ups, it's a genre that I'm really into and played a lot. But the thing is, where you have enemies come towards you, sometimes your hits aren't connecting. If you sort of slightly off, you're then being pummeled by another bad guy. It's just not a good game. It's just, the levels just got very boring quickly. So comparing that to Final Fight 2, a game which was rated a lot lower, sort of surprises me quite a bit, really. because I just don't understand why anyone would choose that over Final Fight 2. And the thing is, with Final Fight 2, you can get it quite cheap as well if you get it on Japanese, I think for about 15-20 quid, so not bad at all, and definitely worth that money, you know, compared to what Final Fight 1 sells for on Super Nintendo, you know, where you're paying like £60 plus. But anyway, enough on the beat 'em ups at the moment. The next game I want to talk about is a game that's in the Super Play Top 100, Pocky and Rocky, also known as Kiki Kai Kai. Now, this one here, reviewed in Super Play issue 5, is obviously known as Kiki Kai Kai. So quite an early release. Now, I've had a quick go on this. It's playing in the background now. Again, done by, I think it's Taito. Oh, Taito got something to do with it. Natsumi, the publisher. Absolutely fantastic sort of scrolling shoot 'em up, but a bit different. Obviously, I'm not talking like your Gradius or anything like that. So you're choosing two characters, either, Pocky or Rocky, a little girl and a raccoon. And there's obviously horizontal shooting bits and vertical shooting bits as well. Very Japanese type feel. Absolutely rock solid. You know, I really struggled to get off the first level. It's a game that I did own many years ago, and like I say, I do need to get it again, and it costs a fortune now. So 82% they gave that, which is not a bad score at all, really. But again, made it in Super Play Top 100. Granted, low down, but it still made it in there. Now, with Nintendo Magazine System, they reviewed the game as well. Kiki Kai Kai, or well, they spelled it Kiki Kai Tai, they've put, and they've called it obviously Pocky and Rocky there. So, again, nice big double page spread there, loads of pictures. Infinite continues, that's good to know. And then, yeah, so responsiveness, really responsive. And it is, you know, it's dead easy to move around, shoot everything. And that's what you want, obviously, from a shoot 'em up. You know, you need it to be responsive and quick moving. But yeah, it is absolutely solid. So, what score did they give it? They've given it 90%. Now, if you have a look at the interest graph, it actually goes up after the first hour. So for a day, you know, high chance you'll be playing that, and again stays there for a week really as well. Now, anyone who's not played this game, I really do recommend it because I'm really enjoying playing it again. I know that friend of the show, Alex Crowley, Nintendo Arcade, is a massive fan of not just this game but the entire series. So yeah, they're really impressed. I'm not surprised. You know, it's a game well worth checking out, but it does cost a lot of money. But you can get it as a cheaper option on the Taito Legends. Well, just answer my question. Yeah, obviously Taito. Taito Legends discs for PS2 and original Xbox. So again, if you just want to try it, you know, and own it, well, a legit disc, as to put it, then yeah, definitely worth having a look at. Now, the other thing I just want to have a quick look at is a game that I've not played since being a kid, but it's not one that I was ever impressed by, really. And it's a game called Bob. Now, this was done by EA, back before we just did mainly football games. But I don't know what it is with Bob. Now, I mainly picked it out because the last thing I want to have a look at, really, is a few titles that I always just see in Blockbuster for rental. Now, this is something that I mentioned on the podcast quite a few times. With Nintendo, you didn't really get that many games that you could actually rent out, you know. But if you had a Mega Drive, a Blockbuster, or Ritz, as it may have been back then, there were absolutely tons of decent titles to choose from. So basically, with Bob, platformer where you're a robot on different planets. Now, again, I will give this a bit of a quick go over just to try out. So I don't know if anyone's actually played Bob out there. Quite nice big sprites and everything, but just I don't remember being impressed by it. I remember my friend across the road buying it many years ago, back when it first came out. They gave that 54%. Fun for a bit, but too unoriginal and limited to make a real impression. So I think that's obviously why it got such a bad review there. So looking now though at the Nintendo magazine system review of it, again, quite a lot more information there. So straight away we've given it a 2-page spread, and again, oh no, more than 2 pages, sorry, 3 pages, and they're giving that 78%, so that's quite a lot. Now 78% for a platformer, very middle of the road type thing, but obviously quite impressed by it. Again, saying it'll keep you going for a little while, according to this. So again, I suppose it's the perfect type of game, to rent out. But this is just what I was getting at. Now, you never used to get any of the really big titles to rent at Blockbuster and Ritz, so it was always like you wouldn't go in there and see Mario Kart or something like that, or even Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo. It'd be just the usual stuff like Bob, or what I'm about to get to now, the games I absolutely hate and rip into. Now, quite a few of them seem to just be down here in this little box out there. I don't know if you can see that, but you've got Wayne's World, Family Dog, Tasmania, by THQ, basically. Now, THQ were known for releasing absolute crap back then, so this is before, we got things like the WWE game license. Obviously, it's a company that ain't even going anymore. I think they folded start 2013, something like that. But these early games are just absolutely awful. Now, they were just known for getting very poor scores. Let's get to the first example now. And again, mainly based on film licenses, as mentioned, the Home Alone games and TV shows. So, Tasmania, now, I played the Mega Drive version. Good game. Really like it. The original Tasmania. And with the Super Nintendo version, totally different. So it's a bit of a racing game where, just running down the road as Taz. Never actually tried the Super Nintendo version because I saw it, in magazines. It was like, no chance. The Mega Drive version was a proper decent platformer. Now, they're giving out 54%. Now, that's not, an awful review by their standards, even though it's still not really that highly rated. And what they're giving it here, they're giving it a lot higher. They've actually given it, cover of the magazine's come off because it was already loose, but they've actually given it, well, first of all, another massive review. They rated that 78%. So, very, decently rated game there. I mean, some of the other ones I've looked at, but being really harsh on things like Final Fight 2, getting 50-odd%. It's quite surprising, so but I suppose it comes down to each reviewer. And just quickly, just looking at one more, I'm going to have a quick look at Wayne's World. I know that it's in here somewhere, so I've just seen it in, what's it called? Here we go. So, 50-odd%, still not a great review, but a lot better than these. So we have Family Dog, based on a cartoon series, one that I don't think I ever really watched. So what's that? 39%, really badly rated. And Wayne's World, which looks absolutely awful, 26%. Now, I just don't get the idea of a Wayne's World game at all. Obviously, back then, I loved the film. It was really popular. But, I mean, come on. A Wayne's World game? Really? Why is it needed? And then if you have a look at the review, one of the worst reviews I've actually seen in Nintendo Magazine System, 17%. So if you thought 26% was bad, 17 is even worse. But if you have a look, it'll keep you more interested than Final Fight 2, which got 58%. So really, you're saying that Wayne's World will keep you more interested in Final Fight 2, even though Final Fight 2 got a better score. Just very, very much doubt that. I find it quite surprising. Now, finally, the last game is one that I've saved because it's one of my favourite games on the Super Nintendo. And it is Shadowrun. Now, Shadowrun came out on other systems, but for me, the Super Nintendo version is the best version of that game. Anyone who's not played it, it's sort of like, it is an RPG set in cyberpunk future. Playing part of Jake Armitage, and you've got to find out who's tried to kill you. Who has killed you, because you get brought back from the dead. Not giving anything away there. It happens right at the start, and just absolutely fantastic 3D isometric viewpoint. However, it's a game that I've owned quite a few times. I do own it again, but I do need to get it boxed. So, what the magazine's given it? So, first of all, we have got the Super Play review. 2-page review there, straight to the point, 85%. Now, I love this game. I've completed it so many times now, and it's still like one of my all-time favourite games. Even at 84% for game life. Now, you can get through it fairly quick. There's a couple of times where I did get quite stuck on it back then. Obviously, nowadays I've completed it so many times. I can whiz through it fairly quickly. It's just like with any RPG, spend a bit of time grinding and, making, things a lot easier for you, because the game does get quite tough late on, if you don't hire a load of Shadowrunners to help you out. And finally then, looking at Nintendo Magazine System, just to get their view, I've had to go to issue 11. So with this one, massive review, got the Nintendo Magazine System seal of approval there, and again 4-page review, giving it 90%. Now this one is in the Super Play Top 100. Again, Nintendo Magazine System more generous with its ratings, and this is basically what I would agree with more. So even though Super Play is my favourite magazine, I do think it does, deserve more than what it actually got. Absolutely fantastic game, and again, when you have a look at the interest, how long it's going to keep going. So yeah, quite good. This is what you want from a game, especially if you're spending like 50 quid on it, definitely. So again, a lot of fans there. Just have a quick look. Game difficulty, tough. Yep, it is in places, but definitely worth playing if you haven't already. But I do go on about it quite a lot. Anyway, that's all from me. Cheers for bearing with us. Cheers for watching this. Obviously, I will do another one soon. Probably take a bit of a break now from videos for a couple of weeks, because we've got quite a few good episodes lined up and a lot of Super Nintendo chat for April, so I can't wait. And in about a week's time, we'll be announcing what we've got planned for episode 50, which is something that we're really looking forward to. Okay, thanks a lot. Again, remember to comment, tell us what you think, and speak to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.